Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Train Up a Child Homeschooling. This is Kathy and I'm here to show you a quick flip through of Rod and Staff. I have like a haul here. We have grade 1, we have grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit about, from each of them. So please bear with me. This might be a long video, but of course you can always just skip to the part where it has the grade that you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start in grade level. So we're going to start in order. So we're going to start with grade 1, of course. Now this is your drill book. This is what it looks like. You have your drills. This empty space here is for, if your child makes any mistakes, this would be the spot where they can repeat, that problem they had trouble with. They can repeat it a few times just to get them to memorize it. But this is what the book looks like. You're supposed to drill them for you give them I believe 2 minutes. That's what I've been doing. And you do this every other day, okay? This is the workbook and this is the teacher's manual. As you can see, the teacher's manual is a pretty thick book. And that's because in the back, you see these white pages here. That's the answer sheet for the practice pages, which I will be showing you. And then this part right here is the actual, the answer sheets for this and as well as the teaching instruction. So let's go ahead and start with this one. This is the beginning of the book. In the beginning of the book, it'll tell you, like how to make your own flashcards, after flashcards, before flashcards, like the number that comes before or after, between, and all these different flashcards that you will be using throughout the program. This is some teaching, just instruction of, when they talk about making hand motions, this is what they're talking about. Here it has a simple instruction about what that means. Okay, it talks about your teaching aid, so you can use a number line, flannel board. I haven't been using that. I do use a number line, and the number line that I use is just a ruler. Money manipulatives that you could get on your own, thermometer, flashcards, liquid measures, and things like that. So here we have your contents. Here's your contents page. Okay, and then this is the beginning of the book. So as you can see, it starts very gentle. This is a curriculum that Memoria Press uses for their first grade year. Kindergarten year. They use the first book because the workbook is split into 2. The first workbook is used in their kindergarten year, and then they use the second workbook in their first grade year. So because as you can see, this is very, very simple math. And the reason for that is because this is a Mennonite Christian curriculum. So Mennonites don't start their school year, official, until they're in first grade. So that's why it looks so simple for a first grader, right? We're just writing numbers, but that's the reason why. So what a lot of people do, especially Memoria Press, they'll use the first workbook of this particular curriculum in the kindergarten year. So that's what I would definitely suggest you do. If you have a kindergartner, definitely you can start them on this one already. They are going to be learning a lot about their math facts. So that's why you see here, there's a lot of repetition, a lot of drills. And then here in the bottom, you have your teaching instruction. And there's several videos on YouTube that talk about particularly this grade year. So I'm not going to go too deep into this particular year because you'll find a lot of stuff about first grade Rod and Staff online already. Okay. And then let me show you what the practice answer key looks like. In the back, it'll also have more activities that you could do with your child. Here's the contents, the practice sheets. And I'll show you those in just a moment. And this is the practice sheets answers. Okay, so these are just fun little activities that your child can do And that's already, that comes included in their first grade curriculum. These practice sheets. And let me tell you, it's a lot. These practice sheets, like, look at this. It's a lot. It's more than the 2 workbooks that it comes with. It has even more practice. Okay, so let me show you really quickly. Now, my son was already doing first grade with the Good and the Beautiful, but I decided to switch him over to this one. So we didn't start at the very beginning. As you can see, everything's blank because this is something he already had mastered. So we just skipped all of these pages. And I'm going to go more in depth as to why we made that switch. As you can see, we skipped all of that. But this is what it looks like. You know, the fonts are very big. So I wouldn't say that it's too much work because the fonts are very big. So they take up most of the page. So we started around here. Sorry about that. My son, when he gets bored, he starts just to draw on the paper a lot. So you're doing your pennies, you're doing your math facts, your addition math facts, greater and less. You're doing some basic word problems, getting them ready for the more complicated ones. Here you see here we have, now we're adding in our word problems. We're still talking about pennies. And this is the book 1. Okay. And then for book 2, it would start off like this. This is the contents. And yeah, it's just that one page of contents. So now we're doing our subtraction math facts. And we already did that also in the first book, has subtraction math facts as well. We're doing some basic word problems. Now the font has gotten a little smaller, so the workload has increased. But remember, you don't have to do every problem. You know, if you can ask your child, okay, we're going to skip one line. Pick whichever line you want to skip. And you can just have them skip that line. You know, you can just have them skip some problems. You know, if your child has already mastered this particular math fact, then just have them skip over it. Here we're already doing quarters. We're doing nickels. Or I think this is just nickels and dimes. Okay. I do think this is extremely helpful regarding the drilling these math facts. Just really drilling them all the time because trust me. I have my oldest child is going into 6th grade, and I wish I would have done this curriculum from the very beginning, because if I had, her math skills would have just been so much easier, so much better, and just math would have just come so much easier to her. And right now I have a struggling child that it's not moving forward in 6th grade math because I feel like she's not ready. And I'm having her do the 5th grade of Rod and Staff. And even her tutor has said that she has improved in the short time that she's been doing Rod and Staff. And that's because we're drilling our multiplications table, divisions tables, and she's doing a lot of this practice, which you will see in just a moment. So trust me, even though, this may seem like a lot, trust the process. Math is not a subject you want to mess around with, because math keeps getting harder every year. It's building upon itself, and it just keeps getting harder and harder and harder. And this is not a subject that you want to play around with, because if not, your child could possibly struggle as the years go on. And I trust me, I'm speaking from experience. Okay, so that was grade 1. So we're going to jump right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to show you the practice sheets. These are the practice sheets that came with grade 1. Look at this. Okay, look how thick this box is. Like, I cannot even take everything out because it's just too much. But these are just extra. I haven't actually used any of these, but I think I'm going to use like the fun ones, like the connect the dots, the dot to dot, things like that, because my son does like doing stuff like that. You see, there's connect the dots here. There's a coloring sheet, and they're really cute. And I'm probably gonna be using most of these with my baby when he's old enough to do it. When he's probably like 3-4 years old. I think I'm saving these for him, because you see it has a lot of just extra stuff. And look, you gotta count how many of these things there are in the picture. So it's like little cute activities, and then also as well some drills. So but it's, trust me, I mean, with this amount of worksheets, I don't think I need to buy a first grade curriculum from Rod and Staff again. There's plenty in here. Okay, so we're gonna jump to grade 3. I do want to say that these books are so beautiful. They're hard. It's a hardcover book, as you can see, and they're just beautiful. Like, the colors are so vibrant. Each grade has their own color theme. So this would be the workbook, okay? And it's just one workbook for the school year for grade 3. Grade 3 also came with tests. Grade 1 does not come with tests, but grade 3 did come with tests. And as you can see, I had my child who's doing this particular grade. He's going into 4th grade next year, but I had him take the 4th grade Rod and Staff math, and he did not pass it. Okay, and he was doing the Good and the Beautiful math for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, and he did not pass the Rod and Staff 4th grade test, which means that he wasn't ready for 4th grade. So it was the placement test that is on their website. So I decided to just do 3rd grade with him, repeat 3rd grade, because Rod and Staff can be a little advanced. And I'm absolutely okay with that, because I don't want to mess around with math anymore. You know, I want to make sure all these foundational skills are honed in. Like, you see how there's a lot of drills here. So this is something that we're also every day during school, the teacher's guide will tell you to drill your students their addition and subtraction facts for this particular grade. So we're doing that, and he's just getting faster and faster as the days goes on. And we're skipping the certain things that he's already knows, like, you know, telling time to the hour, to the half hour. I'm like, okay, look, you can skip that. Like, I know you know how to do that. But definitely have him doing this and the word problems. It's necessary. Sometimes I have him skip some of these money problems, because he already knows how to count his money very well. But yeah, he did not pass. After doing 3 years of the Good and the Beautiful math, he did not pass the placement test for 4th grade for Rod and Staff. So I do want to give you guys a heads up. If you're transferring over from the Good and the Beautiful to Rod and Staff, make sure you take that placement test that is in the Milestone Books website, where they sell Rod and Staff curriculum. Take that placement test. It's a very quick test. It only has like 15 questions. And then, you know, take the test for that particular grade level that you want to go into. And then you'll know if your child is ready or not. You know, this is not a race. This is not a marathon. You know, it's okay. We're trying to move in quickly through it. So that way, I mean, we didn't even take a break this summer, because we just went right into this math, because, you know, we are pretty much, you know, going back a year. So we started early. So hopefully we can finish before the school year ends, and then go into the next grade. And we're also skipping certain pages that I feel like he's got it down. But as you can see, this curriculum is really going to drill down those math facts, multiplication facts, division facts. And guys, I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to have these facts down. Because if you have these facts down, when your child is doing long division, when your child is doing, you know, exponents, when your child is doing any type of, you know, algebra, complicated math, they're going to know the answer immediately, because they already have these facts memorized. But the moment they start thinking about it in their heads, the moment they start to skip count in their heads, they're prone to make errors. They're prone to make mistakes. And then that's when you start having problems. Oh no, you got this problem wrong. Oh no, this number times this number is not that. But if they have these facts memorized, it would just be quick. So, and I wish I had known that. My kids knew how to skip count. They know how to skip count, but they're prone to make mistakes even when they skip count, and they have. So this is what they would be doing. It is 170 weeks of lessons, or 169, or 170 would be the test. So it's 170 lessons for the 3rd grade year. This is the teacher's guide. So the teacher's guide would have one page with your answers, and then the other page would have your teaching instruction. I also appreciate that the teacher's guide in Rod and Staff is super not intimidating. It's very simple in the way they teach their math. It's very simple. So I love it. I love how it's, because some teachers' guides, man, they're so thick and heavy. There's so much information in one page. So it's just hard. It's like so much easier to get lost. But I appreciate that with Rod and Staff, it's definitely their teaching instruction is very, very easy to follow. Here it tells you your preparation, what you can prepare on the board. And then these letters right here have to do with these right here, you see? So it just matches with whatever they're talking about. There's always a little bit of review. I'm sorry if I'm too zoomed in, but it's because when I zoom in, just the quality of the video looks better. So that way you can see everything clearly. Okay, so that's the teacher's guide. And I'm sorry if I'm going fast. If you guys would like a more thorough flip through, let me know in the comments. It's just that I have a lot to cover here. We have several grades. Now, grade 3 comes with these tests, okay? I'll show you a little bit what those look like. And you will find the answer key for these tests in the teacher's guide. So after every chapter, there will be a test. And as you can see, even though it is a mastery program, they do incorporate a little bit of spiral review. And you'll see that a lot, especially in grade 5. And I saw that in the later grades as well. There's a little bit of spiral review. So I like that because it's so important to have spiral review built into your mastery program. If your mastery program is just mastery and there's no spiral review in it, you better be more intentional about incorporating that spiral review, because if not, your kid may forget what they learned 3 weeks ago, what they learned 1 month ago. So another reason why I chose this curriculum, besides the fact that it really drills down those math facts and it prepares your children for that more complicated math, is that there's a lot of built-in review into every page. And that is so important to have when you have a mastery program, because I did one mastery, but I also needed that review. Okay, we're going to go into grade 4 now. So with grade 4, you will get some tests. And you will also get your teacher's guide. This is the color theme for that. And then you get, that's your workbook. And then you get two teacher's guides, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the teacher's guide really quick. So it follows the same thing. It'll have your answer key and your teaching instruction. And the teaching instruction, this part right here is your oral drill. Okay? It's just your oral drill. It'll have some preparation things that you got to do here. And then here it'll have the rest. So you see, it's not too much. It really is not. And then here it'll have the answers. And then that's how it will continue. As you can see, there will be some drills that they want you to cover with your child. Okay. Okay, and then this one is for chapters 1 through 8. And then this one is for chapters 9 through 17. Okay, so let's go into the workbook. This is the workbook. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that Memoria Press uses this for their math. So if you're not familiar with, I'm not currently using Memoria Press. I have used them in the past. I used their junior kindergarten program, which you can find on my page. And I absolutely loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm planning to use that again with my baby when he's old enough. But Memoria Press does use Rod and Staff, but you can also buy this as a standalone curriculum. You don't have to buy directly from Memoria Press or buy their like grade, pack or anything like that. You can just buy this as a standalone program. This is 4th grade. Okay, you see how there's always review? There's the lesson. Okay, there's the lesson, and then there's review. Usually everything on this side of the page is review. I absolutely love that. That was something that was so important for me because I know my daughter needs mastery, but she also needs that spiral review because she's prone to forget things. So this was so huge for me. And honestly, I am so happy that we switched. And the reason why I have so many of these workbooks here is because, well, I have 3 children. I have a 1st grader, so I got them the 1st grade math. And then my other 2 were going into, one is going into 4th grade, the other one's going into 6th grade. So I went ahead and got that 6th grade and 4th grade math, but then I realized like, no, they're not ready for this yet. So I went ahead and got the 3rd grade and 4th grade, 5th grade math for my older 2 because they weren't ready to be at that grade level yet. So that's why I have so many of these workbooks now. I have like all these grades, but that's okay because I am planning to stick with this curriculum because honestly, I was browsing and I did not find anything come close to this. That was mastery, that was going to have that built-in review, that was going to really hone down those math facts, which I unfortunately, I really did not appreciate a lot before, but now I realize how crucial they are for math. I understand that now. So, and there was nothing else that I could find that came close to this. And I especially like that they have teaching instruction. I was looking a lot of Math Mammoth, but Math Mammoth doesn't have that much teaching instruction. It just has a very, very short explanations on their worksheets. And I found that to not be enough, not be sufficient for me to be able to teach my child. And I know there's videos that the creator of Math Mammoth has, but I heard that they're very, like, the videos are kind of like boring. I don't know. I only watched a short clip of it, but I wasn't comfortable teaching Math Mammoth without that much teaching instruction. And yes, you have the video, but what if my daughter still doesn't get it with the video? This has teaching instruction, and then as well, the page that they work on also has some teaching instruction to remind the child of the lesson. So for me, I found this to be sufficient. I found it to be helpful, extremely helpful, and me being able to articulate and explain to my child what lesson, what we're doing. This would be the grade 4 test. I'm sorry, grade 3. No, grade 4 test. Sorry about that. This is what the grade 4 test look like. It's a page front and back. And the answer for this would be in the teacher's edition. Okay? Great. So now let's go to 5th grade. This is the student workbook. And my daughter decorated it. Those are stickers. And then we have 2 teacher's guide, and I only brought 1. Sorry about that. And it also comes with a drill book. Okay, and grade 4 also comes with a drill book, which I forgot to show you. Is this one right here. Now, grade 3 also comes with drills, but I didn't get that in what I ordered. I don't know, for whatever reason. Because I bought it directly from Memoria Press, and I didn't get the drill book. I guess they don't sell the drill book through Memoria Press for grade 3. So I haven't, but I have been doing oral drills with my 3rd grader, so that's fine. Now this is what the drills looks like for grade 5. It'll have a Bible verse. Like I said, this is a Christian curriculum. There's also these drills, and there's also supplementary drills in the back of the workbook, which I will be showing you. So this is the workbook for grade 5. This is the table of contents. Now, I barely found any YouTube videos online regarding these particular grades of rod and staff. So that's why I wanted so badly to share it with you guys, because this information is lacking online. Okay, so here you have your, your lesson, your work, and your review. Very important. Okay, let me just skip over some of her work. Now, like I said, if you want a more thorough flip through of any of these grades, please let me know in the comments. And I will gladly try to make time to upload a video like that of, you know, one particular grade. It's just that there's so many here. Okay, so that was the workbook. It is just one workbook. Here are the supplementary drills. Now, these are just like in the word supplementary. So you can do them if you want to. So I am having my daughter do these. She's only done 2 so far, because there's been days that we do the other drill book. So, but I definitely want her to do these as well. And these are timed. So even though it looks like a lot, these is timed. So it's however many your child can do in that certain amount of time. And with time, I know, right? It's pun intended. As time goes on, your child will become faster and faster. So they should be able to finish these, or at least almost finish these as time goes on, because they'll get quicker and quicker. And then, oh my goodness, look at these long division ones. But look, there's not that many here. Okay. So then this is the teacher's guide. You got your answers, and then your teaching instruction, your review. Okay, so you see right now, there's a lot of review in the first, like maybe first couple of weeks of the lesson. So that's why we're still in that review stage. So that's why I haven't really used these that much, because it's still just review. And even after a little bit, I'm still probably not going to use this as much unless I go up. You know, like unless I actually go to a new grade that we haven't done before. Okay. Now we're going to go into the final grade. Grade 6. Okay, so for grade 6, you get your quizzes and speed test. You get your workbook, one workbook, and you get 2 teacher's editions. And the color theme for this is like a purple color, like a purplish pinkish. This is what you will be covering. Sorry. This is what you will be covering. Sorry if not everything fits in here. I don't have a professional setup here whatsoever. Okay, so this is how it starts off. Place value, rounded numbers. It is a Christian Mennonite curriculum, as I said before. So yes, you will see Bible verses in here, Bible stories, all of that. The pages are front and back. Oh, I think they're like actually like, well, this page is mostly just explanation, like the lesson. So it's just 1, 2, plus a little bit down here. Let me see this one. Yeah, this one's the same, but it's because they have such a big portion of the page is the lesson. So it's still about 2 pages, because look, this whole thing is the lesson. Because by this time, they also expect the child to teach themselves. And then there's a teacher's guide as well if you need help or if they need that extra instruction. But if not, the child should be able to go over this and be able to learn what it is that they're supposed to do. So it is 3 pages, but that's because 1 page is for the lesson. You see, this one doesn't have that much of a lesson. So let's see how many pages it is. So you see that this one is just 2 pages, front and back, because the lesson is so short. So for the most part, you know, it's just going to be actual two pages of work, front and back of work. Because, you know, 1 page is taking up so much. Now with my child, I do have her skip some problems. I don't have her do every single problem. Sometimes I'll let her like, hey, you can skip. You're doing so many multiplication tables. Okay, skip 4 of them. And I'll let her pick whatever she wants to skip. So I give her the ability to choose when she wants to skip. And I just give her a set number of questions that she can skip. Like if there's a lot of multiplication tables or a lot of division, I just tell her to skip 3, skip 4. It depends how many there are. And I also have her skip things that I know she has mastered. So there's ways, even though this seems like a lot, there's ways. You don't have to do every single problem. You don't have to. You as a homeschooling parent, you have the freedom to skip over things. Skip over things that your child has mastered. Skip over things that are too repetitive. You know, you have that freedom. Okay. And then let's look at these quizzes and tests. Oh, we also have a chapter test. We have quizzes and we have tests. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at this new with you guys too because I hadn't really looked in this too much. This is for grade 6. This is your test, your chapter test. And of course, grade 6 also had that built-in review into every page that they're working on. So that's your chapter test. And this is your quizzes and speed test. So this is probably your drills as well. I think speed test, that's probably means drill as well. This says quiz. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Got blurry there. Oh, this is says speed test. So this is your drill. You can use this as a drill. So you see the drill starts very simple. Just addition. Addition. This is grade 6, by the way. This is your drills. Now we're going into subtraction. Subtraction. So I expect that my daughter, when she gets to grade 6, she's going to have these mastered down because she's going to do grade 5 with the rod and staff. Well, she is doing grade 5. So I expect her to already have these mastered down because we are drilling these every single morning. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what one of the teacher's manuals looks like. So this is chapters 1 through 6. Let me show you this one actually, chapters 7 through 13. This will be the last chapters of grade 6. So rod and staff curriculum, their math goes up to grade 8, I believe. So just have that in mind that it goes up to grade 8. So then after grade 8, then you would have to look for, you know, some type of algebra curriculum or things like that. I think that's when they go into algebra. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I know that I think it is for when algebra begins in grade 9. So then you would have to find something else. But at least up to, from grade 1 through grade 8, you can count on rod and staff math. And then this, of course, has the answers, the teaching instruction, and so on. Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. I will be uploading very soon our curriculum picks for the school year 2026 to 2027. So be on the lookout for those. God bless you.